The events that transpired at that party, ladies and gentlemen, will go down as one of the most astounding moments in the history of celebrities. It included screaming shouts, champagne flying, bodyguards that seemed to be frozen in place, and Remy Ma losing it in front of the full list of VIP guests. In the midst of slow-motion dance battles, flashing cameras, and expensive clothing, Remy Ma shook with anger and yelled, "You stole everything from me." Wait, everything, not the man. Not the spotlight, not even the Instagram followers, everything. And here's the thing, this outburst wasn't just loud, it was intentional. As if she had been practicing that line in the mirror for weeks. At first, there was no movement from security. To them, it appeared to be a show. The commotion truly started, though, when the glass shattered and Remy sprang across the VIP table like it was the last boss level. What precisely was stolen by Claressa, then? Why did Remy put her whole career at risk in a single public outburst? Who managed to capture every moment in 4K, with leaked audio already making waves on the internet? Hold on tight, because what we're going to reveal next will completely change the course of the story. Let's dissect it all. Like any other A-list affair, it began like this: dramatic guest lists, premium champagne, and velvet ropes. However, the events that transpired at Brandon's Celebrity Lounge in downtown Atlanta were more than just rumors. Remy Ma was all over it, and it was a full-fledged emotional nuclear explosion. Celebrities from all facets of hip-hop and sports were mingling at the party. According to witnesses, Cardi B was seen drinking in the corner booth, an encrusted margarita. Rick Ross had been occupied with showing off in front of the selfie wall. Even Ice Spice appeared briefly, before leaving as soon as the situation heated up. We mean drama that burns the guest list and scorches the walls when we say heat up. However, since this is more than simply a party, let's go back in time. Betrayal is at issue here. This concerns Remy Ma, the unbeaten boxing champion Claressa Shields, who wore Ray's worst nightmare, is the subject of the story. And no, fashion is not what we are discussing. We're referring to Papoose. That's right, formerly supported Remy Ma during her time in prison, writing for her when she was down. The same man who wrapped up Fidelity was acclaimed as Black Love's last soldier with Claressa Shields. That man was now publicly booted up. And not just boot up, they were holding hands like they were in a Tyler Perry finale, whispering, laughing, and even doing the two-step together. This is when things become complicated. Several people inside the event, including an unnamed bartender, who claimed she was too heavily tipped to tell the truth, claimed Remy Ma was unaware that Claressa and Papoose would be present together. She did anticipate Claressa, of course, but Papoose was a surprise blow to the gut. One insider believes Remy was already on edge before going in, after she sobbed in the parking lot. Her glam staff reportedly had to redo her eyeliner twice. Remy informed her, "I'm flipping every damn table in there if I see that girl with my man." According to another witness who works as a stylist for a number of hip-hop and romance celebrities, spoiler alert, she did, the temperature in the room plummeted by 10 as soon as Remy walked in. The DJ briefly stopped the beat because he sensed a cosmic shift. Ignoring the welcome photos, Remy went right by the picture booth and looked directly at Claressa across the room, as if they were weighing in, and Claressa did not blink, did not flinch, and did not even take a sip of her drink. She grinned instead, and put her arm around Papoose's shoulder more tightly. "I'm sorry." At that very moment, the Bronx pitbull of hip-hop, Remy Ma, made the decision that this evening would not conclude with silent side. Looks her courteous shade. No, Remy was ready for a full-blown WrestleMania moment. She gave birth, baby, like she owned the red carpet. She strode across the room, answers. Clicking heels resembles a countdown to catastrophe. She clenched her hands and had glassy eyes that were a mixture of sadness and wrath. Although security tracked her movements, they took no action. She wasn't really doing anything yet, after all. That quickly changed. One visitor compared what followed to the emotional equivalent of a meteor impact. Remy didn't simply go up to them. She burst out with phones recording and cameras flashing. Remy gestured at Claressa before uttering the now famous line, "That's already been me to hell. I lost everything because of you, all of it." Not only Papoose, not only the sympathy of the general populace. Remy was discussing the story, the heritage, and the loyalty. Claressa added insult to injury by laughing. Yes, you heard correctly. One video clip that was leaked claims that Claressa genuinely laughed. That's when Remy lost it. It was the type of laugh that says, "I won, and I'm not even sweating it." A $4,000 expensive dress that was worn by someone we won't name, but who was undoubtedly not involved, was splashed over as her drink went flying. Papoose attempted to defuse the situation by getting to his feet, but it was too late. With the vigor of a woman who had been deceived often, Remy surged across the VIP booth. Security rushed in a matter of seconds. The guests let out a yell. "World star" was shouted by someone because, of course, they did. in the midst of the confusion, a person's stiletto fell off and landed on the DJ's table. This wasn't simply a chaotic moment, though. So let's take a moment to be serious. This was a woman who was about to die. Despite jail time, public scandals, and highs and lows in her career, Remy Ma had maintained her composure. However, it was twice as viral to watch the man she created a public fairy tale. With cozying up to a woman half her industry age, something inside her was broken by that. It was more than a scene, it was devastating. As well as the internet, it blew up, as you already know. 5 distinct perspectives of the incident, each with its own bootleg emoji commentary, were shared on X, the former Twitter, within 20 minutes. Instantly, hashtags like hashtag RemyVCLARESSA, hashtag Papa Pussy Explain, and hashtag Remy Snap was popular. It gets better, though, since it seems that someone in the DJ's group recorded the entire altercation, including a whispered conversation that was missed at the time. "He was never yours to begin with," Boom says, a voice that alarmingly sounds like Claressa, checkmate in high heels if this were chess. And that's precisely the point at which the narrative transitions from drama to a thorough inquiry. Because Remy was not handcuffed when she was led away by security minutes after the altercation. She was not taken into custody. Furthermore, our sources claim that she wasn't even prohibited from entering the location. What came next, then? Where did Remy go when Claressa discovered that the cameras were still rolling? How did she respond? Things take a more sinister and perverse turn at that point, because someone uploaded a second video from the parking lot, just when you thought Remy was no longer involved, and everyone was curious as to whether the footage taken outside the venue was only the start of something far worse. Let's begin. Atlanta parking lot at midnight. And just when we believed that the match between Remy Ma and Claressa Shields had concluded with a viral scream and a discarded drink, boom, another aspect emerged. It wasn't from the club this time, it came from outside. The iPhone footage wasn't shaky, probably from a paparazzo hiding in the valet bushes, with a lens long enough to zoom into heartbreak. This was clear, well-lit, high-definition pandemonium. Remy is shown pacing hard, wearing heels off, shifting her wig slightly, and smudging her mascara at the start of the video. She appeared to be leaving behind everything she had ever known. She held her phone in one hand while continuously clenching the other into a fist. She wasn't shouting this time. She took everything. She took everything. She was repeating to herself in a whisper when a familiar voice called out to her from behind. Remy yells back, "Worse, I built you. I went to prison and still held us down. And now you're out here parading her like I never existed." And with that snap, the world got its second viral moment of the night. The audio is brutal, raw, and real. Some claim it's staged, while others say it's too real to fake. Yo, Remy, don't make this worse. It's a papoose, and that's when things go nuclear. Remy breakdown and P4 was reposted more than 87,000 times in a matter of hours. But here's the real deal. Someone muted the final 10 seconds of the video. What's hidden there? According to anonymous insiders, Remy threatened legal action, hinted at revealing long-kept secrets, and even mentioned a child. Yes, you read correctly. A leaked direct message purportedly sent from a burner account connected to Remy's inner circle claims that she screamed at Papoose, saying, "Tell her the truth about that baby before I do. Police, Scarlett, hold on, police. Scarlett a baby, if this is true. Then everything we know about this romantic triangle becomes a maze of betrayal, deceit, and possibly even cover-ups." Some speculate that Claressa may have had a child with Papoose before their relationship became public. Meanwhile, Claressa Shields are completely unconcerned. The morning after the incident, Claressa logged onto Instagram with a smile on her face and a glass of green juice, captioning the photo, "Still undefeated." Others claim it's about Remy's own child and a covert betrayal involving previous DNA tests. But none of that has been confirmed yet. In and out of the ring, boxing glove, nail polish, phew. That one post received 1.2 million views in less than 6 hours, and the commenters were gushing about it. Remy got rocked. And it wasn't even a fight. That's a champion response. Period. Remy, go cry in the studio. However, not everyone was on Claressa's side, as a number of devoted Remy Ma fans strongly defended her. "Y'all forgot who held Papoose down when the world forgot about him," reads one comment that has since been pinned on many reposts. "Claressa is merely cleaning up an empire that she did not create." And another, "This isn't a boxing match, this championship is a home crash." Even Fat Joe subtly weighed in, tweeting the cryptic line, "Loyalty doesn't cost a thing until it's tested." And yes, fans are now demanding he pick a side. He hasn't yet. Let's not ignore the wider fallout either. This wasn't just a private drama anymore. It was the top headline on every blog, gossip, page and YouTube channel from LA to London. Even TMZ tried to get Claressa to comment outside a training facility the next day. Her response was that she laughed and then said, "Tell Remy to train harder before stepping in. My ring, I respect both of these straw black women. I ask for privacy while we deal with personal matters. Sir, privacy, you were caught on video. Gripping Claressa's waist like you were slow dancing at a wedding, and now want privacy." Twitter wasn't having it. Not Papoose asking for privacy after being the main character in season 35 of As a Bronx Turns. He was quiet for 10 years and now we want him to never shut up. Sir, blink twice if you're being held hostage by boxing gloves and BBL energy? We're talking lawsuits now. But there's more to come. Security logs show that someone attempted to follow Claressa to her car that night, but they were stopped by event security. Let's face it, this whole thing went out of control the moment someone decided to leak that venue guest list to the blogs. You know how these things go. A shady assistant, a jealous stylist, or an inebriated DJ can send one screenshot to the right blogger and boom, public explosion. And guess what? We've just received an exclusive, yet unconfirmed, report that the venue owner is suing because, apparently, Remy Ma's drink toss damaged a custom $18,000 booth imported from Milan. Staff. But when questioned, the person said they were working with Remy's PR team. What? We're not saying this was a setup, but we're saying it sounds suspiciously like the beginning of a scandal. Much bigger than just spilled drinks and viral quotes. Consider Claressa's sudden involvement with Papoose, Remy's immediate emotional collapse like she had no idea this was coming, a baby's secret, and threats of exposure captured on tape. No. This isn't just drama but rather the beginning of a full-blown unraveling. And let's not even talk about the mysterious Bronx truth teller, a TikTok user who has been posting old Remy Papoose voicemails and alleged voice notes, one of which seems to show Papoose confessing he felt Remy's legacy was purposefully set on fire. And we're just getting started because insiders say that Ray's next move isn't a diss track but something much, much worse. And that next move wasn't a diss track, it wasn't a press tour, and it wasn't even an apology. It was a lawsuit, yes, according to court records filed just 2 days after the party. Remy Ma's legal team filed a claim accusing Claressa of being the one bullet left, Shields of purposeful infliction of emotional distress, character defamation, and legacy sabotage. Yes, legacy sabotage was a term that caused Twitter scholars to quarrel over its definition. But the message was clear. Remy wasn't taking down the line and she was fighting back, this time with paperwork. But that wasn't even the most outrageous part. The lawsuit included a timeline of alleged manipulation that went back to 2023. Remy's legal team said that Claressa had been planning her closeness to Papoose long before the public discovered it, claiming that she had been putting herself into Remy's personal orbit under the pretense of motivational mentorship, even offering to help create a documentary on balancing fame and family, while covertly demeaning the husband. I can't believe this stuff. Oh, wait, we just did. But listen at this. We're a Netflix drama, we would already be 6 episodes in and ready for a plot twist. Speaking of plot twists, guess who started working with the media out of the blue? Papoose. Mr. Loyalty, Mr. Black Love, Mr. I waited 7 years for her. He gave a quiet sit-down interview with a small independent podcast, and within hours, it was syndicated across all the major blogs. He said the following: "Sometimes we love who someone was, not who they are now. I gave everything to that marriage. But when it turned into a prison without bars, I had to leave." The podcast presenter then asks him directly, "So, are you confirming the relationship with Claressa? People went crazy in a bar-free prison." But wait, it gets messier. Papoose pauses, smiles, and continues, "Let's just say that I found peace, and peace isn't a crime." Boom, confirmed. All the rumors, all the blurry photos, all the coincidental vacation overlaps. This wasn't speculation anymore. This was a public declaration of betrayal. Remy Ma reportedly watched that interview alone inside her manager's office. Sources say she didn't even cry. She just stood there silent and then whispered, "He really did it." The following video then appeared. However, it wasn't of Remy or "I always caution my brother, be careful when you let fame play therapist." Papoose, but a fat Joe on a live stream, face dead serious, voice quiet. There are some people you just don't betray. Cryptic? Absolutely. But was it a warning or a rebuke? Fans instantly speculated that Joe was siding with Remy. And not just emotionally, because within 48 hours, Remy was spotted at Terror Squad Studios, the same place she launched her comeback after prison, the same place where she once said, "This mix saved my life." She was back. According to leaked audio from that session, she is working on a song called Snatched Crown, in which she raps, "You boxed your way in, now box your way out. I birthed a dynasty. You're chasing clout." The internet went crazy, but as fans fought over who should be allowed to speak. A completely different bombshell came out. A leaked deposition that was part of Ray's legal filing revealed that, during her 2022 tour, Papoose Ghost wrote several responses that Claressa used in interviews. Responses that were intended to rebrand her as a multi-platform personality, not just a fighter, but a thinker, a woman with substance. Why is this important? Because if it's true, it means that Papoose wasn't just cheating romantically. He was creating a new empire behind Remy's back using her playbook, her style, and her strategies. Claressa allegedly even used Remy's stylist and hair team. In one crazy turn of events, fans were now calling Claressa a career thief rather than just a homewrecker. Despite this, Claressa remained unfazed and went live on Instagram, wearing a bright pink hoodie that read, "It isn't stealing if it's already yours." This was Ray's exact wording from a 2018 interview on The Breakfast Club. Additionally, a fan inquired, "What are you going to say to Remy now? Remain in the booth, girl," she added with a sly smile. "She will need headgear for the shade she is slinging. Remy, this is a TKO. And you haven't even rung the bell. Someone has to call Judge Judy on this disaster. That's the only place you say for me." View the violence, disrespect, and audacity in one remark. However, if we look past all the memes and chaos, this story is more complex than that. This was not just a woman who was disgraced, it was a queen who was dethroned. A foundation that was broken and a legacy that was shaken, and worse, it was being broadcast live on television. Every comment, clip, and leaked direct message we see is a slow collapse of one of hip-hop's most famous love stories, turned into content for the general public. And even though Clara may be unbeaten in the ring, what happens when the crowd turns against her? Rumor has it that a fitness company has already canceled a collaboration video with her. A documentary crew has halted production, and there are rumors that her next fight may be boycotted by race fans. On the other hand, Remy isn't unaffected either. If you thought the lawsuit was brutal or the drink toss at the party was dramatic, you haven't seen her. Her reputation, which was rebuilt after her release from prison, is now broken again. Some say she's rebranding, some say she's spiraling. But one thing is for sure, she's planning a tell-all interview, and guess who's producing it? Mona Scott-Young, the same genius behind love and hip-hop, is a queen of turning chaos into cultural currency, according to sources. The working title is Remy Ma, What You Never Knew, and it promises to cover everything from motherhood to Papoose's darkest secrets. Anything yet, the real fight is just getting started. This time, there were no gloves, just cameras and consequences, and there you have it, one drink, one scream, and one broken legacy shattered in front of the world with every second captured. In 4K, Remy Ma's crown was stolen, Claressa's silence was weaponized, and Papoose was in the middle of a public battleground that had turned into a love triangle. The question is, however, was Remy justified in exploding like that? Did Claressa go too far? Or was she merely claiming what was already broken? Is Papoose the victim or the villain? Please share your thoughts below, because this isn't just gossip, this is warfare with Wi-Fi. We're not done digging. So stay tuned, because the next time a mystery baby enters the chat and the father, let's just say it's not who you think they are. If you think someone still has secrets to reveal, leave a comment. Bell subscribes, because we promise you that the next leak is already coming, and we'll be right here to break it down frame by frame. Because in this saga, each side has a story, but only one has the final say.